Hello and welcome. My name is Nav, and as always, I appreciate and thank you for joining me here on your mat. Although the sun is out, today's practice is more geared towards a late night release. Something that you can practice in your bed or maybe even just on your carpet before going to sleep. We'll focus on releasing some tension out of our hips, out of our lower body, while slowing down our breath, calming down our mind. If you do have props such as a strap or blocks, they may come in handy. But we can always substitute blocks for cushions or a pillow. And we can always substitute a strap for a hand towel or an old t-shirt that you might have. It's up to you whether you wish to play some relaxing music while you're at home working along this practice, or I'll post a playlist down below, and that's something that you might choose to listen to as you prepare yourself for today's practice. As always, if you do enjoy my content, please like and subscribe below. It helps the channel tremendously. Otherwise, let's take our time as we begin on our backs. Now, as you settle onto your back, taking these first few minutes, these first few moments to find a little bit of ease. It doesn't matter how you look in your shape. Some of you will have your legs and arms extended. Some of you might choose to have your knees bent or your arms on your body. What matters more is the intention that we bring into this first shape. Bringing softness into the body, relaxing our joints, letting our day go as we lighten the load on our mind, and allowing yourself to settle onto your breath. So no rush to do any of these particular things, but setting an intention to do these things fully. Softening the body, relaxing the mind, checking in with our breath. And we might begin with some purposeful breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, releasing away some stagnant energy, letting go of anything you've been holding on to as you create space for new and fresh air to come in. And we'll eventually seal our lips here as we find a natural breath through our nose. We can always think of these following qualities as something to channel into our breath. A breath that is soft, smooth, steady, soothing. Once again, a breath that is soft, smooth, steady, and soothing. If we can work with these qualities with our breathing, naturally it helps to relax the body and to calm down the mind. So our first shape for today's practice will be a reclined tree pose. So let's bring our left leg out long as we extend. We'll rebend our right knee here as we allow it to fall out towards the right side. Your right foot may come either above your knee as it rests close to your thigh, or it might even come a bit lower down towards your calf, your shin. And if it feels like a bit much having this right knee opened, then we can always use our block, our pillow, our cushion as a bit of a support to stop our thigh bone from dropping out as much. In this type of particular class, our blocks, our supports are here to keep us safe, to stop us from doing more than we might be able to handle, to protect us, to keep us safe. But as we settle into this very first shape, this reclined tree pose with your right knee bent, feel free to bring a little bit of softness using your hands to massage the area around your inner right thigh. Throughout this practice, we will hold our shapes for about 90 seconds, sometimes a little bit more. We want to ensure that we are not tense while we settle into these shapes. So oftentimes it takes the body a bit of time, a bit of practice to soften and to settle. So notice if your breath has become a bit shallow, a bit hard, a bit fast. And once again, tapping into your breath to calm down your mind, to keep your mind within your body as you soften and relax. We'll be here for another 5 or so breaths. Noticing if your right knee has gotten a bit closer to the ground, your right thigh bone becoming a bit heavier. Great. From here, taking your time, maybe even using your right hand to bring your right knee back in towards center. We'll rebend our left knee for the moment here. And our next shape here will be our half happy baby. So let's bring our right knee in towards our chest. And just taking a few moments here as you open your right knee out wide and then bring your right knee in towards center. It's your choice whether you use one hand, both hands, or no hands. But the intention here is not to move fast. Explore, notice where you feel tense and tight. Notice where you may feel restricted or where you start to feel your stretch. And then just allowing yourself to work mindfully here. Some circular movements, clockwise, counterclockwise, some half circles. And from here, we'll eventually start to open. So we'll be bringing our right knee towards our right armpit, keeping that inner thigh open. And we can start to extend our right foot up towards the sky. Some of you here may choose to just hold on to the base of your thigh, holding on maybe behind your knee, while others might begin to slide a bit higher, holding on to the big toe or towards the outer edge of the right foot. Just notice where you can grab with some ease. We don't want to be forcing ourselves and lifting our shoulders or head off the mat. Keeping your head relaxed, your upper body grounded. And then as we bring some awareness into the body, notice where we can soften. See how hard you're holding on to your right foot with your right hand. See if you can relax that grip, soften there. Notice if you feel very tense, very tight through your hamstrings. And using your left hand, if it is free, once again massaging, softening the areas through your hamstring. Understanding that our hamstring is made up of 3 primary muscles. They're not all the same shape or same size. So you might notice that certain areas of the back half of your right leg feel a bit more of a stretch than others. As you breathe in, you might even feel your belly pressing towards your thigh. And as you breathe out, bringing softness into your breath, as you bring a little bit more heaviness and create a bit more space through your right leg. And just for these last 5 or so breaths, you might choose to extend your left leg out long. But if that takes away some of the stretch in your right leg, then simply rebend that left knee as much as you need. A few more breaths. Great. Now those of you that did extend out your left leg, let's rebend. And we'll bring our right ankle on top of our left knee, crossing over. Take a moment here, using your right hand to create some space, maybe just pumping out that right knee a few times. And from here, we will be preparing ourselves to twist. So some of you may just choose to stay here if you're already starting to feel a bit of a stretch through the outer edge of your right hip. Otherwise, we can start to bring both legs, the outer edge of our left thigh and the bottom of our right foot, over towards the left side of our mat. Now we have a few options from here, and it's all dependent on what feels comfortable for you. Now notice in your body what feels better. Some of you will feel a good stretch, a deeper stretch, as your right knee points up towards the sky. Others might feel a bit of a different kind of stretch with the right knee coming down towards the ground. So play with that. Notice the position of your left knee. I would say that the closer your left knee starts to come towards your side body, so the more we start to flex our hip, the more pressure you'll start to feel, the more of a stretch you'll start to create through the outer edge of your right hip and glute. Now, once again, as we bring some awareness into the body, checking in with the shoulders, trying our best here to keep this right shoulder grounded. We might even reach the right arm out towards the side as a bit of a counterbalance. Left hand can stay close to your right leg, just keeping it as a support arm here. And once again, staying present with the breath. Maybe you've had a busy day. And as we welcome this practice towards the end of our day, we don't want to bring this baggage into our dreams and into our sleep. We hope to let some of these things go. I often make a joke with some corporate clients that these individuals who most likely wake up to emails, spend all day writing emails, finish their day with emails, probably dream about emails. So we have to be able to separate maybe our work life from our personal life, our public life, our outer life with our inner life. Honor this time, honor this practice, honor you. Give yourself this opportunity to let things go. Another 5 or so breaths. See if it makes a bit of a difference by pushing your right foot into the ground as you open or close your right knee a bit further. Wonderful. Let's use our hands here to gently guide our hips back in towards center. Take a moment to remove your right leg off of your left. We'll take a moment here as we heel toe our feet mat width apart, letting our knees fall in together to touch. Heels wide, knees fall in, allowing our lower back to flatten and reset on our mat. We'll bring in one last movement here through our right side. Keeping your feet wide, we'll once again drop both legs over towards the left side of our mat. And we have a few options here once again. So let's first try our best to find some comfort, to find some ease. Notice if in your body at this moment you're feeling an excessive amount of pressure through your inner right leg, maybe even into your right knee. You might choose to heel toe your right foot a bit closer towards your left leg. Or if available, we could always bring a block a pillow, a cushion underneath that right thigh. Those of us able to work with this sensation and maybe even look to create a bit more length, take a moment to just look down at your right knee. We try our best here to have our right knee in line with the center of our mat, center of our body. So that might just require you to heel toe your right foot another step or two off your mat, creating a little bit more length through the front of your thigh, your quad here. And then it's up to you. Right now, you might be feeling a great stretch, a deep stretch, and this is more than enough for you today. Others might choose to bring in a bit more pressure, but being mindful as you do so, as you cross your left ankle over your right knee. If this is too much, we simply remove. And for today, we just work with whatever feels best. And we'll give ourselves about 10 or so breaths here. Once again, if your hands are free, using them as a bit of a tool to massage the area around the top of your right hip, maybe towards the outer edge of your right thigh, wherever it is that you feel sensation surfacing. There's a reason why physical touch is known as a love language. By using your hands to massage your body here, you are giving yourself a bit of love. You are showing yourself a bit of care and kindness, softening those areas that are feeling tense, reassuring them that they are safe, that you are safe. Just a few more breaths here. And then if you do have that left ankle crossed, gently removing, using your hands to guide your knees and hips back towards center, and then just taking a moment to extend both legs long. Maybe giving them a little shake, seeing what feels best there. Now, if you do carry a lot of tension through your lower body, take a moment to just check in with the right half of your lower body. This journey that we started our practice with worked exclusively through the right side of our body. So maybe at this moment, your right hip feels a bit heavier. Your right leg might even feel a bit longer. Just notice. And then when you do feel ready, we'll take this journey over to the opposite side, bending our left knee, bringing our foot towards the inside of our right leg as we open ourselves up for this reclined tree pose. Now, as we start this journey on the opposite side of our body, it's natural that your mind will compare. You'll notice how this side feels. You'll compare it to how the right side felt. And a part of you might want to feel the same thing. As best as we can, we avoid chasing feelings. We allow ourselves to work with this side as it is today. So just notice. Notice how it feels. Notice what you're feeling in this stretch. And see how you're able to adapt and adjust to create a little bit more ease, a little bit more softness, a little bit more peace. Each breath out becomes an opportunity for you to let something go. Letting go isn't just something that you do physically, but also mentally and emotionally. If you've had a stressful day, let things go. We'll bring in another 5 or so deep breaths. Each breath an opportunity for you to soften. Each breath an opportunity for you to start again. And then from here, we'll bring our left knee in, bringing our left knee in towards our chest. And then we just start to bring in that gentle movement, opening and closing, rotating, circular motion, clockwise, counterclockwise. Just an opportunity to explore. If we spend a lot of time seated in a chair, our hips don't do a whole lot of movement. They end up just holding tension, storing tension. So this is an opportunity for you to explore some of that tension that you've created. Not judging the tension that you've stored up, but just noticing. As I bring my left knee in, it feels such a way through my outer hip. As I open my left knee out, I feel such and such a way through my inner left thigh. And then as we prepare for this half happy baby, we'll begin here with our right knee bent as well, as we then start to extend our left foot up towards the sky. Seeing where it feels best to hold on to. Behind the knee, on the thigh, behind the calf, towards the foot, towards the outer edge of the foot. As always, the main thing that we're focusing on is that we aren't rounding through the spine, so we're not starting to lift the shoulders up, lift the head up. That just requires more strength for you to then have to bring in more tension for you to work around. As best as we can, we soften, we relax that upper body. So that might mean for you today, there isn't much of you grabbing up towards the foot. If you're already feeling a deep stretch through your left inner thigh, you might not even kick your foot up. But wherever we are, find your breath, find ease, create your own peace. Peace is not something that we need to seek outside of ourselves. This practice on our mat helps us to understand that by slowing down, by being present with ourselves, by breathing mindfully, we can begin to taste those qualities of peace. 10 breaths. Notice what's changing through your left thigh. Maybe your knee's getting a bit closer to the ground. Maybe your thigh is starting to open up a bit more. Wonderful. Although I did forget to mention, if you did have your right leg extended, let's slowly rebend as we cross our left ankle over our right thigh. A few pumps here using your left hand to open that left knee out, creating a little bit of space here. As we then prepare ourselves to twist. Take a breath in. Breath out, dropping both legs over to your right. Once again, a block is your friend. You might use a cushion underneath your right thigh, underneath your left foot. Notice if that feels helpful. Bringing awareness into the position of your left knee, whether it's pointing up, whether it's pointing down. Noticing the position of your bottom leg, whether it feels a bit better to have that right knee extending out, or whether you flex your hip to bring that right knee a bit closer towards your side body. These are all options to help us adjust and adapt to the posture. And then, as always, the most important thing to settle back onto is the breath. And this part of the practice of settling onto the breath takes practice. If you have a lot of tension in your body, your mind will be sending a lot of energy towards what you're feeling. And your mind may get caught up in what you're feeling. But over time, as we spend more time getting comfortable in these shapes, as we build a healthier relationship to these poses, we can redirect that energy away from the body and what it's feeling, away from the mind and what it's thinking, and give more importance to the breath and how we are breathing. Great job here. We'll be here for another 5 or so breaths. Amazing. Using your hands, gently bring your hips, your legs back towards center, removing your left foot off your right leg, heel-toeing your feet wide apart as you take a moment to let your knees fall in together to touch. Just opening up a little bit more through your lower back, feeling a bit of flatness. And then our last shape here on this left side. When you do feel ready, both knees falling over to your right. Once again, those few options to find a bit more comfort, to find your optimal stretch. If it feels like too much through your left leg, we can heel toe our left foot towards our right leg. If we wish to create a bit more of a stretch, looking down at your knee and just heel toeing your left foot a bit further away and off the mat to have your knee lining up with your hip down the center of your mat. Blocks are your friends. These cushions, these pillows are here to help you. And those of you willing to work with a bit more pressure, a bit more depth, perhaps crossing your right ankle on top of your left knee. Now in this particular shape, it is natural that your left hip does slightly tilt off your mat. So finding that sweet balance where it's not your upper body also tilting off of your mat. Stay heavy through your shoulders, find depth in your breath. Once again, your hands are here to support you, to stretch, to soften, to massage. Now we will only be here for about 10 or so breaths. This particular shape requires our hips to rotate internally. And for most of us, our bodies prefer and have more capacity to rotate externally. So you might notice that there is a lot more tension and pressure here within this particular shape. We try our best to work with this, to feel it, to face it. But just reminding yourself, you're not here to torture yourself or do more than your body is willing to handle. A few more breaths. And eventually removing right foot off of left knee, using your hands to guide your legs and hips back in as we extend our legs long one last time. Checking in with your lower body, inviting any little movements, shaking out your ankles, your legs, your thighs. And then eventually we'll settle into a little bit of stillness. Maybe placing our hands onto our body, one on your belly, the other to your chest. As we invite 10 slow, deep breaths, focusing a little bit more on your exhales. So if we count our breaths, breathing in for a count of 4, breathing out for a count of 6. Allow yourself to breathe here. Allow yourself to feel. Five more. And we'll invite one final cleansing breath here. So when you do feel ready, taking a deep breath in through your nose, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, opening your mouth as you sigh it out. Those of you that may have fallen asleep in your bed at this point, enjoy. Those of you that are still awake, inviting some gentle movement into your body, stretching out your wrists and ankles, your fingers and toes. Taking a breath in to reach your arms overhead, pointing your toes away, a full body stretch. Breath out, we'll bring our knees in towards our chest as we round through our back, giving ourselves a nice big hug. And slowly making your way up into a seat as we bring our hands to our heart, tuck our chin into our chest, keeping our eyes softened or closed. Just one last opportunity for you to check in. Notice how you're feeling, noticing what's changed, noticing what still may remain the same. And just that opportunity one last time here, giving yourself permission to let go of anything additional, physically, mentally, emotionally, to lighten your load. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live peacefully and harmoniously, may you be liberated from your pain and suffering. It's my honor to guide you all here today as we sit tall to seal our practice by bowing forward and humbly saying, Namaste. I hope this practice was of some benefit, not just to your body, but also for your mind and maybe even your heart. An opportunity for you to let things go, to let things be. I encourage you to practice this as much as you need. And if these shapes feel good for your body, feel free to pause the video and stay deeper. Stay for as long as you need, as long as it feels good. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please type it out below. I'll be sure to return with an answer. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you again for our next practice. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you.